stocks, Anglo American Platinum accounts for about 40% of the world's newly mined platinum, and it has a market cap of 100 billion rand. Its mining operations are centered in the Bushveld complex near Rustenburg. It has a price to earnings ratio of 92 and a dividend yield of 0.54%. This is the heavyweight in the sector.
Well,
40% of the world's platinum.
So it traded at 1,400 and something rand a share. It's now, drifting around the sort of 350, 360 level. So such as its collapse. Its market cap is now roughly the same as Shoprite's. So there's a turnaround. I mean, this is one of South Africa's corporate titans.
Say that again. Its market cap now is round about the same as
Shoprite Checkers. So Shoprite is the largest of our retailers with a market cap of 100 billion rand, and this is now roughly, depressed to the same point. I'm not sure that I like it around here. I'm still worried that the production is going to be curtailed. Chris Griffiths, the CEO, has indicated that when they eventually get the workers back and production resumes, then they're going to look seriously at all of their different operations, of which there are many, and there may be some shaft closures.
At 300 rand, this is not a screaming buy.
No,
that is a question.
Not yet. I think there is some value there. But as you say, the PE is around, I think, around 92. So, you really have to have a buoyant market to trade in this to get that growth out of the sector.
Platinum is cyclical. It is going through a very tough period right now. The bottom line is that unless the world comes to an end, the platinum story is going to resume. And Anglo Platinum surely is going to go back to a better level than 300.
I think it will. I think that can you put your money elsewhere in the next 6 months to a year and get a better return and then wait and then go into the platinum? So that's the question. Can you get a better return somewhere else in the next 6 months to a year? And I think a lot of people say, yes, you could.
So what we're saying then is the platinum story is not going to recover in the short term, Paul.
Well, I've got a slightly different take on it. I think the global economy has already recovered. Auto sales, we know, have already recovered. We know that we're running at sort of 50 to 60 million units a year. That's how many cars get produced. Almost all of them have auto catalysts because even the Chinese have decided that their environment needs protecting. So the platinum demand is there. Sure, there's a lot of thrifting and recovery and recycling and so on going on. But I think the auto demand is what it is. The sales are what they are. Johnson Matthey's recent report indicated that they see the demand for platinum slightly outstripping the supply. But even withstanding that, they didn't really see all that much upside for the platinum price because they know these guys need to produce. I just think that the mood is negative.
I need to pause on that. How can you say that the world has recovered? We've got a fiscal cliff looming in the US, which could put the US firmly back into recession if that is not addressed. Europe is not coming out with any great news flow. Neither is the UK. I don't know if you are living in the same world I'm living in, but
no, I just think you've been captured by the bears. That sort of thinking is definitely out. You have to put that behind you and move on. The world economy is expanding at like 4% per annum. The fiscal cliff is a term that Bernanke made up. It means nothing. The cars are going to be driving everywhere. The economy looks good.
All right, Rob.
Don't worry about that.
Rob. Are you with me or are you with him?
I'm a little bit more on your side. I think vehicle sales in Europe haven't really recovered.
Come stand a little closer here.
So I think there is problems on vehicle sales as well. And you saw it from Peugeot, some of the European car makers under a bit of pressure.
Well, there we go. He's been captured by the bears as well. What can I say? So at 300 rand here, we are saying that you think they're better places to put your money.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm even concerned that they're going to go lower because we know that Anglo Platinum has had 4 CEOs in like 6 years. Barry Davison built this big expectation of enormous growth in production, left the thing reeling. Then they brought in Ralph Haverstein from Sasol. A couple of months later, Cynthia Carroll fired him. Neville Nicolau was the solution to all of their problems. Then they trundled him out. Now the golden boy from Kumba, Chris Griffiths, is back. But I just don't think that internally they have embraced enough change in their model. I think it's hierarchical. It's the old feudal system of labor up there.
How much can we pin our hopes on Chris Griffith, the golden boy, so says Paul?
I think it really depends on the world economy and the labour problems in South Africa. I think operationally he'll be good enough to get the impacts back into the right space, but he needs a lot of outside factors to fill into his operations that he's going to change there. So it's probably 50-50.
That's an economist kind of view, 50-50. You never know where anything's going to go.
Anglo American owns 80% of this, remember. Anglo American's got problems of its own. In
Yes,
Brazil,
with
with
Sylvia
iron
Carroll's
ore, the
recent
CEO's
departure as
gone.
well.
So you're not going to get much leadership or guidance from there, and I think it's severely unlikely that there'll be any sort of buyout of the minorities. The question of how it sort of stumbles here going forward, I don't know, I just don't see it. I just think that they're going to probably do a lot of shaft closures. The production, the only thing they've got going for them is that the 650 million ounces of platinum is still there under the ground. That's not going anywhere. And in the long term, that will be unlocked.
That's quite a substantial underpin, in my opinion. Hot or not on Anglo Platinum?
No, I'm afraid I think it's a value trap. There's a lot of negativity there. I think it goes lower before it eventually recovers.
Rob, hot or not?
I'm not hot on it.